If you want to participate, contact me at ordinarywomenpodcast@gmail.com. I'm sure you have great projects to brag about. You can also follow me and message me on Instagram at ordinarywomenpodcast, on Twitter at ordinarywomenpc, or on Facebook on the page Ordinary Women. Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Ordinary Women. Hi Anne-Sophie, how are you today?
Hi, so nice to speak with you. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good too, thank you. Very happy to speak with you again today as well. Can you start by giving us a quick introduction of yourself, please?
Yes, of course. So my name is Anne-Sophie. I'm 29. I was born and raised in Belgium, but I've been living in Geneva, Switzerland for the past 4 years. For a living, I'm a strategic planning manager in a digital marketing agency specialized in luxury. But I do quite a few things on the side as well. So I'm the Chief Happiness Officer at Girls in Tech Switzerland. So this is a nonprofit whose aim is to build an inclusive and diverse tech community by empowering women across industries and inspiring them through learning and networking opportunities. Because I'm sure you know the tech industry is a very male-dominated industry, so we are here to help empower women in that industry. On the side, I'm also a facilitator for I Am Remarkable, which is a Google initiative that empowers women and other underrepresented groups to celebrate their achievements in the workplace and beyond. So these are self-promotion workshops. And then on the side of that, also over a year ago, I created a platform called the Independent Brand Guide, which basically promotes independent European fashion brands. I've been a bit less active with that project recently because I had a lot on my plate, but I wanted to mention it because it's a project I'm very, very proud of as well.
So many cool things. Excited to talk a bit about everything. And can you tell us something unusual about yourself?
I guess I really love reading. I read a lot, and last year I read 70 books, and I'm quite proud of that.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do you only read fiction or non-fiction or anything?
I basically read everything I can find. I love self-development books, but I also love novels, fictions, biographies. It's really diverse.
That's so cool. What's the book that struck you the most that you read last year?
That's always the question I get, and every time I'm like, let me think, because I love them all.
It's such a hard question.
Right? Yeah, no, one book that I really loved is called Circe by Madeline Miller. And, it's a novel, but it's based on Greek mythology, and it's really, really well written. So if you like novels and if you like Greek mythology, I really recommend that one.
Cool. That sounds super interesting. I'll definitely add it to my already way too long list of books to read.
I can imagine,
Cool. Since here, obviously, we talk a lot about being a woman, I like to start by asking, was there an event or a moment in your life when you realized that you are a woman?
Yeah, I really thought about this, and I really feel like there wasn't, a particular wow moment where I was like, wait a minute, this is something different. Because I really feel that I grew up in a household where, I always felt that I had the same opportunities as my brother. I was never told, you can't do this because you're a woman or else. So I really feel that it was more of a gradual realization. When you grow up, you start going out, you enter the workforce, you kind of realize that there are some unspoken rules and things that you need to be a bit more careful of because you're a woman. So I think it was more of a gradual thing for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely. That makes perfect sense. And did you grow up with any feminine role model?
Yeah, I mean, the women in my family, they're all very independent. They all have or have had a career and their own very strong mind. So, I really grew up with amazing women in my life. And for example, my grandmother, she always told me, it's very important to earn your own money, to be independent, to not depend on other people. And that really stuck with me. And, as a result, I feel like, I'm an adult that's quite good at, voicing my opinions and be heard. And also, I really value my independence. And I think that came from the women in my family.
So cool. Yes, so important. what do you think is the last thing that they taught you? Well, one of them taught you.
The last thing, oh my God.
Or the most important, if you prefer.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important is the one that I just told you, because I do feel that it's important, not just, with money, but also, I have my driving license, but I don't use it as much, and I don't really like to drive. But my grandmother, she's always like, it's really important, it's your independence, your ability to go where you want to go without depending on other people and being your own person. So that's really something that's stuck with me, and that she's still telling me to this day.
Definitely so important. That's very cool. And do you currently have any female role model?
Oh my God, so many. I would say that, maybe one of the famous ones that is really important to me, and I don't maybe you know her, her name is Diane von Furstenberg. She's a Belgian fashion designer, and she became a big name in the US, in the early 70s. She has her fashion brand, her namesake fashion brand. She built basically her own empire by herself. And that what I really love about her, beyond the fact that, we're both Belgians, so I kind of relate to that. She's also a very strong activist for women's rights. She has the DVF awards, that basically gave recognition to people who are fighting for women's rights. And, like, even though she's successful already, she doesn't have to do all of this, but she's a strong activist for women's rights. And I'm really impressed by that.
She sounds super cool. I didn't know at all about her.
You have to look it up. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, I actually met her once.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was just, she was reopening a boutique in Antwerp at the time, and I met her, and I almost passed out because I was so, impressed. I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. Yeah, that was a very emotional event for me.
Oh my God, I can imagine. Did you get to talk to her?
Yeah, I mean, I even got a picture with her, and you can see on the picture that I'm so, impressed and scared. And, in my eyes, you can see, like, I can't believe this is happening. And yeah, I spoke with her briefly. She was very, very nice.
Oh my God, I can imagine. That must be so cool. What did you talk about?
It was just, I mean, it was very brief because, of course, there were a lot of people, but I just told her that, I really appreciated everything she's doing for women, and that she was, a great role model, and that we needed more women like her.
Oh, that's amazing. That's very cool. I'll definitely, check her out. Oh, that must have been such a great moment to live.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Cool. And do you think that the lack of representation of women in society had an impact on you?
I mean, I think, I studied business engineering in Brussels, which is definitely a field where there are more guys than women. But, I do feel that it motivated me in a positive way, to show that women, they can be just as successful in those studies as the guys. So it was more of a, like, positive challenge. And I don't feel that I really suffered from it. And then afterwards, I started my career in the fashion industry, and we were always more women. So I don't feel that I was impacted too much. But as you know, I'm part of Girls in Tech, and I'm also an advocate for gender equality. I do see that, there are sectors such as the tech industry, but also, in leadership roles where women are not represented enough. And I strongly believe that it has an impact on the younger generation. And so I do feel that representation is really important. And I speak up about this a lot. But, looking back on my path, I don't feel I was too affected by it because of the field, that I was working in initially. And also now in digital marketing, it's quite balanced as well. But yeah, it's a very, very important thing.
Definitely. That's good if it didn't impact you too much. And have you ever asked if you work with a man in the more fashion industry? Did they have, I don't know how to say that. Like you were saying that there are not many women in the tech industry and not many men in the fashion industry, and for you, it challenged you and helped you almost to do more. Do you know of any man who had a similar or different experience working in the fashion industry?
It's a really interesting question. I never had that discussion with a guy, I must admit. But maybe, maybe they do feel that they're underrepresented in the fashion industry. I don't want to not recognize their experience because, as women, it's often women who are underrepresented. But maybe it's the case. I don't know. We should ask them.
Cool. Let us know when you do.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting. It's a super interesting thing as well.
Yeah, I wonder how it is on the other side.
Yeah, right? What is it like?
Cool. I'd like to jump on like kind of the second part of our discussion. And I remember that you were telling me that you had like quite a few different projects.
Yes.
So how would you like to talk about it? How would you like to talk about yourself and your achievements?
I mean, I love them all equally. And but I think it's interesting as well, because often I feel that society is trying to put us, into one single box. You're doing this and you're doing that, but you're not doing all of the other things that maybe you would like to be doing, or you're not recognized for that. And I do feel that it's so important to explore your passions and explore, what all of the things that you'd like to do, and we shouldn't put ourselves in a box. Basically, if I said, well, I work in digital marketing and that's what I'm doing and I'm only focusing on that. And if that's, what someone wants to do, that's great as well, having like one area of focus. But I feel that I'm the type of person who loves to do a lot of different things and meeting a lot of different people. And I have a lot of different interests as well. So we can, go about it as you wish. Maybe we can talk about, the one that's you found most interesting, or it all works for me, really.
Okay, I'll try to do like broader questions about everything, because I guess let's see how it goes. Because everything sounds very interesting. I kind of want to hear about everything.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Cool. I think my first question would be, how do you start something new whenever you do? Like, what happens?
I'm the kind of person who thinks about it for a really long time, before I do it. I'm kind of a perfectionist to a fault. So I really like, to prepare. And when I have an idea in my head, I'm going to discuss it, with some friends and family and see, if there's something I could do. And so I guess it kind of takes some time, for me to start something new. But also, when you take the time, you kind of realize, is it something that really sticks with you, or is it just something that you think about for a week and then you kind of over it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. Have you ever started something and then like a week after being like, yeah, I'm done with it already?
No, I haven't, because I think about it for so long.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. And what makes you like the ones that you're still doing at the moment, or that you pursued? Was there something that made you, I don't know, like continue?
Yeah, I think there are all things that I'm really passionate about and that are very close to my heart. And, I think especially if you look at, working for a nonprofit, these are all people, all of the women that I work with, we all have a full-time job, and then we do this on the side. We're not being paid for it. So, you need to be passionate. You need to be excited about what you're doing and the impact that you have. Otherwise, that is just not possible. You're just going to burn out. So I think the passion is what keeps me going. And I love all of these projects equally. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, definitely. If you're not, well, I'm the same as you. Like, I just need to be passionate about what I do.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And so you say you think a lot about things before you do them. Do you know like how long it can last?
It depends. For example, for the independent brand guide, I think I got the idea early 2020, but then the pandemic happened and there was so much going on, and I think I launched it by the end of the year, so I guess it took 1 year. But I discussed it with a lot of people. The idea really evolved, over that 1 year, and I'm really happy with like what came out of all of those reflections. So that took quite some time, but I'm very proud of the results. So I can't complain.
Cool, yeah. And was there anyone, I was going to ask, was there anyone who had like particularly an impact? Because you just mentioned your friend, people who you talked to, but yeah, was it for this or any of your other projects?
I think, the independent brand guy, I started by myself, whereas Girls in Tech, it's a global organization and I Am Remarkable, it's a Google initiative, so it's not like I'm the one starting this. So I can't really say that for those projects, but for the brand guides, because in the past I used to work for, small fashion brands. So I discussed it with some of my, fashion designers friends. to understand, what their needs were and if there was a place for this kind of project and if people would be interested in it. And also I had some friends who helped me, for example, all of the graphic design aspect. I'm not a graphic designer, so one of my amazing friends helped me with that. So yeah, it's a team effort for sure.
That's very cool. And is there a common reason why you started all of these different things?
I mean, I think because I work in digital marketing and, my job is great. I'm really happy and grateful. But, there are some things that I love that I don't get to do in my job. And, that's the same for everyone, right? Because you have a lot of passions. And so I used to work in the fashion industry and working for independent fashion designers. And I really loved that. So that's why I started the Brand Guide, because, I wanted to get back into that, speaking with designers and having those interactions, because it's something I love very, very much. And then Girls in Tech and I Am Remarkable, these are projects that I started and that I joined because I'm really, really passionate about gender equality, and I want to have a positive impact on our society and also for the next generation at my, small contribution. And yeah, so that's what I'm really passionate about.
And do this project ever cross one over the other?
I mean, I started I Am Remarkable through Girls in Tech because we did a workshop with Google for the Girls in Tech community. And then, I became a facilitator through that. So I'm really grateful to have had that opportunity through Girls in Tech. And then between the Brand Guide and Girls in Tech, no, because it's quite different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. And how did you join Girls in Tech?
So basically, when I first arrived in Switzerland, I didn't know anyone. I moved by myself, and it took me quite some time, to get used to the city, the new job. And then at some point I was like, well, I'd like to meet people outside of my job, because I think as an expat, oftentimes the people you meet are through your job, they're your colleagues or friends of your colleagues. And I kind of wanted to have my social group outside of that as well. So I started looking for communities of women in Geneva, in Switzerland in general, that would fit for me. And, I found Girls in Tech on social media. I messaged them and I joined, the community quite quickly. And then I joined the board, I think 6 or 7 months after that. So that was quite quick.
And how do you manage to, I would say, how do you manage your time between all of these? Because you seem to do like so much.
Yeah. I'm very, very organized, I would say. And, sometimes you just have to make compromises as well. I'm not a superwoman. And, as I said at the beginning, the Brand Guide, I haven't done things in a bit of time. And that's okay. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I'm really proud of all of these projects and I'm doing the best that I can. So, I really want to mention that, it's okay. If everything is not perfect or if we're not up to date on everything at all times. So I'm doing my best, but, sometimes if I just need, a day to do nothing, I'll just do that. So I think it's about balance and, definitely being organized.
Do you know what impact each of these projects have on other people?
Yeah, I mean, Girls in Tech, I don't want to take the credit for myself because it's really a team effort. Like we're a big team in Switzerland and in Geneva and Zurich. So, it's an amazing team of women and they're all like such amazing women. But we really see the impact that we have because we organize events for the Girls in Tech community. And it can be events such as, for example, how to optimize your CV, or it can be very technical workshops to learn, new tech skills. And so we really see the impact that we have for women who are already in the tech sector, but also some women who are transitioning into the tech sector, because there are quite a few as well. Then for I Am Remarkable, after the workshops, I really see that they really benefited from the workshops. I think, the self-promotion skill is a difficult one often for women, and it takes time to build it. So I'm really happy to be giving those workshops and to see that, it has a positive impact on people. And then, for the Brand Guide as well, when I get messages from fashion designers because they were featured and because, they were seen by some people that did not know about them, it also feels great to have that impact as well.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And so how do you choose the brands that you feature on your Brand Guide?
Yeah, I mean, I used to work in the fashion industry, so and working for small brands, so I knew quite a lot already. And also before starting the brand guide, I would most of the time buy from small brands. And so my closet is mostly small independent brands because, I love supporting someone's dream. And also, when you get a new item of clothing or something and you have a handwritten note from someone and you can really tell that, you made them happy and you kind of made their day, it's a great feeling. And so I already had a big list of brands that I loved and that I had in my closet. So in terms of choosing the brands, it would always be brands that I would wear myself or that I have in my closet or I know the designers. So really that. And then on top of that, I really focus on European brands, being European as well, because I feel that the American brands, they already get a lot of visibility. So I wanted to focus on the European ones because we have so much amazing talent in Europe already.
It's very cool. Yeah, that's such a great, thing to have. That's, very cool.
Yeah.
And we talked a bit about the challenges that you faced, but was there anything that was easier than you thought for any of these projects that you started?
I would say, for example, for the brand guide, so I think 2 months after I launched it on Instagram, I got a press article in Switzerland, which I did not expect, to be so quick, and I was so proud. So I would say that was a very, very pleasant surprise. That one.
That's amazing. How did it go? Like, how did they just find you on Instagram and reach out?
No, so basically I was, reaching out to some local news outlets, but I didn't have a lot of faith into it. I was like, well, maybe we'll see. And then they just picked up the story, and that was great. And I think it also shows that you really, have to believe in yourself and just try things. And if it just doesn't work out, it's okay. And, it might work out. And that's also amazing.
That's very cool. Yeah. Like just be bold and try out and see. Oh, that's very cool. And why are you proud of yourself in regards to all of these?
Oh my God. It's difficult because during the self-promotion workshops, I'm always saying, we have to be proud of ourselves and not be afraid to, speak about our achievements. And then when I have to do it myself, I'm like, oh my God. But it's a good exercise. It's a muscle that you have to build. I would say that I'm proud of myself because all of the projects that I work on, I'm trying to have a positive impact on society, with my small contribution, whether it is for gender equality or buying and shopping more responsibly. So yeah, I'm quite proud of that. Hopefully, I'm having a small impact.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's even small steps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you know, like with the brand guide, do you have any idea of what you want it to become?
I have some very wild dreams for it. I mean, I would love for it, to get bigger and, touch more people, because basically what, the idea is about getting consumers to meet the designers and vice versa, to kind of be the bridge between the two. And the bigger it gets, the better it is for both consumers and for the designers. So that would be my dream, for it to get bigger and to help more brands and more people as well. Because also, a small fashion brand, they don't have the means to work with big influencers or, to get ads in magazines or stuff like that. So that's really something that I would love for it to happen one day. So we'll see.
Cool. Well, I really hope it grows. I think it's an amazing idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I think we've reached the end of my questions, but maybe there's something that we haven't talked about and that you wanted to add to our discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to really emphasize on I mean, we spoke about it a little bit, but that as women, we tend to be so hard on ourselves, but it's important to celebrate our achievements, no matter how small, or even if, say, like for me, for the brand guide, I haven't done things in a bit of time. And, I could be saying, oh, well, it's not worth mentioning it because, I haven't done things in a while. But if it's something that you're proud of, it's worth mentioning. And I really wanted to, say that again, because it's really important.
Yeah, definitely. How do you self-promote?
I think I've gotten better over time, also giving the workshops. But you know what they say in I Am Remarkable is that it's not bragging if it's based on facts. So if it's based on facts and the way you say it as well, because I think a lot of people, they're afraid of sounding like just a braggy type of person, and I think that's the main fear. But if you're just saying what it is, and the way you're saying it comes from a place of just being proud of yourself, but not comparing yourself to others or trying to put other people down, I think that's what matters.
Yeah, definitely. That's so wise and so well said.
Trying.
Cool. Well, I think we're going to conclude on that. Thank you so much for coming and answering my question and sharing a bit of your story with us today. It was really great to hear.
Thank you. I loved being here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And as usual on this podcast, the guest gets the last word. So the mic is yours.
I would say, don't let people put you in a box. Explore your passions, try things, and see what sticks.